Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well today. This time we are going to be talking about one of my favorite childhood games, Doom 2. Doom 2 is a first person shooter and is the sequel to Doom. This is actually one of the few direct sequels in the series, and it's really awesome. All of the items and weapons are carried over from the first game, and they add a few different things to them. I think the super shotgun is the only one that's really different, and honestly, I could probably take it or leave it with the super shotgun. There are a few more bad guys for you to deal with, which is always great. I really love the way they just stuck with the same formula of, moving around, shooting as best you can, and killing off as many enemies as possible. This is a really awesome game. They stuck with the same formula of gameplay of just moving around, blasting aliens or demons, and it's great. There's more levels to it, and in this case, it was actually a complete game. They didn't make you go. They didn't sell the. Sorry, they didn't release a shareware version first, and then have you try to get the other episodes, which was kind of weird with the first game. I never had all of the episodes for the first game. It was a little different. But with Doom 2, oh man, I loved this game so much. They still had all the same cheat codes, which I kind of remember, but they simplified the clipping code. Now it was just ID clip instead of, oh god, I don't even remember what it was. It was some convoluted system of different letters. I do not remember all of them. Basically, the gameplay is the exact same as the first Doom, and it's still awesome. I really love this game. It is just absolutely wonderful. Playing this is kind of like eating a grilled cheese sandwich for me. It's like comfort food. Visually, the game looks pretty much the same as the first Doom. You do have a few things that are a little bit different, just because you have different monsters in this one, and yeah, I think it still looks really good today. But yeah, it is basically the same as the first Doom. One thing that I always liked about the visual styles in this is that it's almost a 2.5D game. It's not a true 3D game. You still have the enemies that were rendered in from like clay models, so they look and move pretty realistically, or at least as realistically as they could for demons and whatnot. But it does kind of cut down on like a true polygonal 3D game. It does a great job of faking it though, and you don't have some of the things. If I'm remembering this correctly, you still don't have like overlapping levels or anything like that. Everything that you're running on is kind of laid out in a certain pattern. So unlike with Quake, which would come out later, you can't fully explore the level as well as you probably should be able to. And because it's not a true 3D game, you can't always see the projectiles of the bullets that are coming after you. So you won't necessarily see like gunshots or that sort of thing, but you will see the rockets that are coming at you, which I think is kind of awesome that you can see those and dodge them. But it is kind of a shame that you can't really tell where the bullets are coming from. So if you look at Quake and you had the nail guns, you could actually see those projectiles. Whereas here, you can't really see when the chain gun's firing at you. It's just kind of auto-locked onto you. That's really the only knock that I have, and it's a pretty minor one at that. Because this is Hell on Earth, things do get much more demonic as the game goes on. And quite frankly, I think they get a lot better. especially once you get to the levels that are supposed to be Earth in some ways. It looks like a very twisted version of Earth, and that is something that I think is really awesome. Okay, let's get into the story because this is going to be over fairly quick. The story of Doom 2 is largely unimportant to the rest of the game. You don't need to really know that, Alien, not really, sorry. I have the books tied up in my brain right now, and those have sort of poisoned my my vocabulary on this. You don't really need to know why the demons have invaded Earth. You just know that they have. So you have this demonic invasion that's going on. You, as apparently the only Marine that can do anything in this world, have to go and stop it. You also have to find a way to get humanity off of the planet, which is all explained through text. So once you hit a certain level, the game will kind of stop in between loading screens, and some text will explain to you what exactly happened. Like, you have to get into a starport and release humanity or something like that, because all of the humans on Earth, aside from yourself, have apparently loaded up into some kind of like spaceship, like some colony ship. And yeah, you just need to make sure that they can actually get off of the planet. It's kind of a cool idea. I do like it. It adds something to it. So it's kind of interesting to see that. And yeah, the story's there if you really want it, but yeah, like a lot of these games, especially from the 90s, the story doesn't really matter all that much. You're really just here to kill zombies and anything else that happens to get in your way. Eventually, you do end up going to hell, and you meet the Icon of Sin, which is a little disappointing that it's basically just a wall that spawns monsters at you. That's kind of a pain, but I understand why they did it. So, yeah, you can't really just create new monsters, and they had already used up the Cyber Demon and all the other crazy stuff that's happening. So, yeah, I understand why, but it is still a little disappointing at times. And then once you defeat the Icon of Sin, then the game's pretty much over, and you've won, and that sort of stuff. And I think everybody knows by now that if you do the clipping code and you walk through the Icon of Sin, you can see John Romero's head on a stick. And that's kind of the end boss, or like the heart of the end boss. It's interesting. It's different. But hey, yeah, that's pretty much Doom for you. So this is going to sound kind of crazy. This was a birthday present for me. So I got this roughly when it came out. I don't exactly know when it came out, to be perfectly honest. Or at least I don't remember. It came out shortly after the first Doom, like within a year or so, I think. And it was a Christmas present, which is kind of awesome when I think back about it. That my parents were like, "Yeah, let's get him Doom. He'll like that." It's kind of cool to see that sort of thing. Just or kind of remember that sort of stuff. It's a fun story. Just yeah, I love playing Doom so much. I have so many memories of playing this when I was a kid. Just going through it, trying to beat it without actually using any of the cheat codes, trying to just see all the different stuff that's in the game. Oh gosh, what else did we do? Oh yeah, just created other stories for the game because, as much fun as it is to just play this, you do kind of want to have something else going on. You don't just want to play, how can I really word this? You don't necessarily want to just play through it all the time. Sometimes you want to create your own story. Sometimes you want to try to do a speed run to do it as fast as you can. And other times you just want to have fun with the game. And that's really all I ever wanted to do with this, was to just sit down and have fun with the game. And I think I did that quite a bit when I was playing through it. I forgot a lot of stuff in this. Like, there's a lot going on in this game that I just totally forgot about, just from, time and that sort of thing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This is one of the games that I lent out. Yeah, I used to lend this game out to my friends, because, what was it? We had it on CD-ROM. Sorry, my brain's not really working as well as it should at the moment. We had it on CD-ROM, and that was back when you could still loan games out to people. And I remember doing that and just talking with my friends, that sort of thing, seeing how far we could get. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun memories of playing this game and kind of sharing that experience with a bunch of my friends. It's such an awesome game to play through. It's so much fun to go through all of it today. I really love Doom 2. When I think of something scary from my childhood, sometimes I don't really think of Doom, because I more just remember that being both frustrating and exciting to play, but not really a scary game, especially with the second one, after I had kind of experienced all that I could with the first one, or at least with the first episode of the Shareware game. So, I think this is a really fun game to play, especially around Halloween season. I don't always think of it like that. It was a big part of my childhood growing up. I played an awful lot of Doom. It was one of those things that was whispered about on playgrounds and that sort of thing. It was one of the last games I really remember people talking about different things you could do in the game. I think it was the first game I remember hearing about people talking about the multiplayer aspect of it and really playing online and that sort of thing. That became the standard for games later on, but I would hear about that mode with Doom and just think, man, that sounds really awesome. Especially, back in 94, when we definitely did not have the internet back then, or at least my family didn't. That was something kind of crazy. You would only hear rumors about it on the playground, and you'd hear about the internet, but nobody I knew had ever actually been on it. Aside from that one kid who would always say, "Oh yeah, I've always done that." There's always that one kid on the playgrounds who would just talk shit, and nobody would ever know what he was saying, or nobody would be able to challenge him. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap things up. Let me know what you think about Doom 2, or just let me know what you think in general. Go ahead and post that in the comment section below, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye, everyone.